So it turns out our 7th round pick, Yu Sato, is actually a real player. I said he was a randomly generated player. You guys let me know, and I looked him up. He's actually a real player. Straight out of Japan. Things you absolutely love to see. Woo! And just for good measure, an Iserman out of Peterborough, just like Stevie Y, you love to see it. That's right, Joe Baker, the Iserman name lives on in Peterborough. What's going on, guys? And welcome back to your Quebec Nordiques franchise mode. And we got some things to do in this episode. Boy, do we got some things to do. The coach is on the hot seat. We got to figure out what we're going to do with our goaltender situation. We got to trade some players, and hopefully we can have a successful year. So let's start off talking about the goalies. I think we've all kind of made a decision that we're going to run with the two young studs. Our 8th overall pick, I believe he was. I could be wrong. 14th. Oh my god, I'm totally wrong. What kind of GM am I? Yaroslav Askarov, our 14th overall pick in 2020. He is hopefully going to be the goalie of the future. And that means for UC Saros, his days are numbered. Now they would be Now, we could stretch it on a little bit more, but we have Tucker Tynan kind of coming out of nowhere, a 2nd round pick, 46th overall. He kind of surprised everyone, jumped up to an 80 while still in the OHL. Now, I have to step back a little bit and actually talk about Tucker Tynan here because he was actually involved in a really scary incident in the Ontario Hockey League a few nights ago. There was like some commotion in his crease, and unfortunately a skate cut like the back of his leg, and it cut like an artery, and there was blood all over the ice. They actually canceled the game and the upcoming few games for the Niagara Ice Dogs. I believe that's where he plays, but super sad. Obviously, we're thinking about Tucker in real life. He sent out a tweet. He said he's all good. He was rushed to emergency surgery, and I was getting a ton of comments, people tagging me on Twitter and Instagram. So, I mean, we're thinking about Tucker. Hopefully he can, hopefully he's on the road to a speedy recovery and he'll be back sooner than later. But now back to the virtual game as opposed to real life. Tucker Tynan is going to battle it out with Yaroslav Askarov for the starting position this year. It's interesting because we are a young team going with two really young goalies, so unfortunately that means UC Saros, I think he's got to go. If it was just Askarov, we'd probably roll with UC Saros for one more year, but since the emergence of Tucker Tynan, it doesn't really give me a ton of options. I mean, I could trade one of these young stud goalies, but I'd rather have players on our team that we drafted, that we molded into NHL players. I'm a big fan of Tucker Tynan and Askarov. They are going to split the minutes. So with all that being said, what is the trade we're going to make? And we're going to stay in the trade screen. Brandon Barenfeld, he says, I would do UC Saros, Nick Bjugstad, and Adam Fox to the Red Wings for Moritz Seider. Now, I don't hate that trade. But I want to show you one thing here. If we put all of this into the trade block real quick here, make sure Nick Bjugstad's in there. I want to get someone, I said in the last video that I wanted to get someone who was like 78 overall, medium elite, someone that we could bring up next year or maybe in the postseason or something along those lines. Now, I think Brandon thinks that Moritz Seider is a little bit better than what he is. Obviously, in real life, he's going to have much better trade value than what the game gives him. You can see it's actually all the way down here. He's 80 overall, 21 years old. He's pretty damn good. I see what you're saying there. I like this guy a lot. I mean, he's got tons of potential. He's listed as a top 6, so if we played him right now in Adam Fox's spot. The thing is, we're giving them a decent amount of cap back. Moritz Seider wouldn't be terrible to replace Adam Fox. And then my plan is, maybe if it's Moritz Seider or if it's another person, he'll be ready to replace Adam Larson in 2 years when his contract is up to jump into the top 4, or maybe even sooner than that. So Moritz Seider is definitely an option. However, we're going to have to get a little bit more if we're going to trade all 3, because look at that trade value. Now, Moritz Seider in real life is obviously nasty. He kind of surprised everyone when he was taken 6th overall in 2019, but he is a legitimate B+ prospect in the NHL. Moritz Seider, 6'4", 208, 21 years old. Said drafted by Quebec Nordiques, but we definitely didn't draft him. Why does it say that? Wait, am I messing something up here? He was definitely drafted by Detroit? What the hell is going on? Drafted by... Why does it say that? It should say drafted by Detroit. I am really confused. I've never seen that bug before. I don't know if it's a bug or if I'm reading it wrong. I mean, I don't understand. Okay, anyways, regardless, apparently we drafted him, which we definitely did not. But Moritz, is he going to come to Quebec? Now, I have been looking around the league, and ideally, I would love to get a player like this. So like I said, I wanted a player who was like 78 overall, medium elite, and this was kind of the ideal player, was Luke Hughes. Now, if you look at Luke Hughes, he is a former 5th overall pick, so kind of similar to Moritz. He's an offensive defenseman, maybe has a bit of a higher ceiling. He's a year younger, but he's a guy who was definitely on my list, was Luke Hughes. Now, unfortunately, this makes it a little bit more difficult because you can see the trade value looks pretty even, but damn, Quebec would have too few goalies. Well, we can't take out the goalie because that's one of the biggest pieces towards this trade. Now, if we just get a player back, we'll get this guy. Sure, he'll be the AHL starter. Oh darn, Minnesota would have more than 50 players, so I'm gonna have to take on a contract. That doesn't seem to be a problem. Give me your worst player, Minnesota. Let's do it. Give me your worst player. There you go. Oh wait, Minnesota would be over the league's salary cap by a lot, by over $7 million. So that means that we still have to work some things out. So that means I have to take on a bad contract, which I really don't want to do. So I'd have to take on a guy like Matt Zuccarello, and even then it wouldn't quite get it done. I'd have to eat $2 million of cap. Now, if Luke Hughes was on any other team aside from Minnesota, I might be able to make this work, but in a world like this, I literally cannot see it happening. We're already taking on a terrible contract. I'd have to throw in a first and eat basically all of Adam Fox's contract, a little bit of Nick Bjugstad, and I mean, I'd still have to throw in a pick. So unfortunately, I don't think this is going to work. Before I started recording, I was looking around. I wanted to make sure I was going to get this trade right. Luke Hughes was a player that I really wanted, but unfortunately, I think with just the nature of everything right now, they have no cap space because they give out terrible contracts. I mean, this is a team that's at the cap ceiling and doesn't have a guy like Ryan Suter or Zach Parise on the team. They just have a lot of really bad contracts like Jared Spurgeon. I mean, in real life, he's probably worth it, but right now in the game, absolutely not. $6 million for Zuccarello, 5.8 for Killer. I mean, they're paying a lot of money to a lot of people. I mean, Ryan Donato is 80 overall, making 4.3. So again, I think this is going to kind of be the player that got away from us. The one that got away, Luke Hughes, unfortunately, I don't think it's going to work. Now, I was looking around. I've done a lot of pre-scouting here, and there is some players that kind of make sense and some teams that make sense to make trades with. Edmonton, look at their goaltending situation. Edmonton, come on, let's have a little chat here. Edmonton, okay. Ken Holland, you have Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl. You have two of the best players in the world. What makes you think it's okay to start Anton Forsberg as your starting goalie? Come on, you're better than this. Give McDavid a chance. Oh my God. So a part of me wants to help out the Edmonton Oilers with trading them, obviously, UC Saros. They're kind of in the same cap situation that the Minnesota Wild are. So that brings me back to Detroit. Moritz Seider, it doesn't look bad at all. I think Moritz Seider might be our guy. But if you're looking at it from this standpoint, Jordan Binnington is the starter. It doesn't make sense for them to have another starting goalie. But that doesn't mean we can't get a guy like Moritz Seider just for these two players. It doesn't mean he's untouchable because his trade value isn't crazy and he is going to be a better player than Adam Fox. So if we could get this done, I think we might be able to. We'll have to get another player from the wings, which I don't think is a crazy problem here. If we could get a prospect, that would be great because our lineup is already set. So if I could get a player, looking for another young forward here, preferably not a center because we have so many of them, but honestly at this point anyone will do. How's the trade value? Is it even? we could probably get a little bit more. I could probably get a decent-ish prospect here. Maybe someone like this Bergeron guy. Let's see what he's looking like. 72 overall, 22 years old. Ideally, I'd like someone a little bit younger, like this Lee Davies guy, who's 20 years old, 72 overall, a former second rounder. If we could get that, so they'd be over the cap, which is fine. Nick Bjugstad, I'll retain 1.3. That's not a problem. It's only for one more year. We don't have crazy cap issues, so I will gladly eat the 1.4 million to make this trade go through. So Adam Fox and Nick Bjugstad, basically for Moritz Seider. He has the potential. I wish it was a little bit better. We're all not really sold on Adam Fox, and Nick Bjugstad doesn't have a place on the team anymore. So will this trade go through? Moritz Seider for Nick Bjugstad and Adam Fox. Trade rejected. Okay, so we might have to sweeten it a little bit with like a pick, which I'm not opposed to doing. Try that. A fourth for next year, a 2024 fourth. Will that push it over the edge? Trade rejected. Okay, so maybe they don't want to get rid of Moritz. I guess that makes sense. What about a fourth and a fifth? How's that working? Does that make sense? Do you guys want to do that? Add another draft pick? Okay, we can just keep sweetening it as much as we want here. What if I made it a third from 2025? All right, Nick Bjugstad and Adam Fox and a couple of picks, basically for Moritz Seider. Trade rejected. Okay, this trade might not go through. It might not be as easy as we thought. What if I threw in another fourth? Will that go through? Wow, okay, the trade value is definitely in their favor, but they're still saying no. So what if I eat a little bit more of the cap and give you a second round pick? Will this go through? Come on, Detroit. Trade rejected, even though it's quite close to fair value, they said. So if I have to throw in a seventh, whatever, or a sixth, or a fifth, come on, guys. You shouldn't be making this trade that difficult. It makes sense. Pull the trigger on the deal. Oh my God. Okay, I'll throw in a fifth. Come on, give me a break here. Will this go through? Trade rejected. Okay, maybe it's not going to go through. I guess we're going back to the drawing board. That was 7 minutes of my life I'm never going to get back. So here's another option I was looking at here. UC Saros for basically Broberg and this Mercer guy. This is everything just to make it go through. Casey Cizikas will probably just throw on waivers or trade him for basically anything. He's like 79 overall, making 2.9. Just cap to make it go through. Philip Broberg. I would love to get Philip Broberg here. 21 years old, 78 overall. Is a little bit less than Moritz Seider, that's for sure. And then this Mercer guy who is a former second rounder. Like that's something that I would like to do. But I think what I'm going to do, since we're only a few games in here, I'm thinking I'm going to just pimp out the trade block. Since that Moritz Seider thing didn't go through, I'm going to put those 3 players on the trade block and we're going to see what we get. Maybe I'll simulate another month, see how the team's doing, because there is another option from Farbs. And as I do the trade block here, I will let you know what he says. Farbs, he says, fire the coach. If things are rough about after a month, so that's going to be our little test here. We're going to simulate about a month. If things are still rough, give him the boot, he says. Your team chemistry is not very good with the coach you have, and in my experience, a B-rated coach with a good scheme fit is much better than an A-rated coach with barely any chemistry. So our coach right now, Maurice Belanger, I think he has a 55% team fit. I want a guy who's more in like the 60 range. That would be ideal. So what I'm going to do, pimp out the trade block, do about a month of simulation. We're going to let everyone know that we are open for trade negotiations on those 3 players, and if we don't get anything that we like, we'll just go back to Edmonton and probably get Philip Broberg, or maybe we'll see if things will change with Detroit because Moritz Seider would be pretty damn awesome. So let's go ahead, pimp out the trade block, we'll get a ton of trade offers, and then we're going to go from there. I know I have that feeling that unfortunately Luke Hughes is going to be the one that got away. He's the one I wanted, but unfortunately, I just don't think it's going to happen. So we started off the year 0-2, and this is a trade I do not want to make. Minnesota, I don't want that defenseman. You know I want Luke Hughes. Starting off the year 0-2, looking to get our first win of the year in front of our home fans against the Maple Leafs, baby. Let's go, period. Number 1, and it's 1-0. Sundin scores on Askarov. Period number 2. Okay, 2-1. Nick Suzuki, there you go. And then Philman, he fills the net. See what I did there? He makes it 2-1 for Toronto. Toronto, but Stastny scores on Marc-Andre Fleury, gets a huge goal. The captain putting the team on his back. Does Conrad Stastny smell blood in the water? Is he going for another one? 2-2. Are we going to go into overtime? Do I got to slow sim this one? If we go to a shootout, I'll go ahead and slow sim it, but we're headed into the extra frame here, looking to get the victory. Maybe going into a shootout? Let's go. Two pretty evenly stacked teams here. Their goaltending needs work, but Toronto versus Quebec, a classic. Here we go. Johnny T, the captain for the Maple Leafs, comes in, and Askarov says, nope, not today, baby. Shuts the door. Gino Malkin, the new addition in his third game with a team, and a couple of moves. Way too much for whoever the hell is in net for Toronto. Here comes Mitch Marner. His dad Paul is in the stands. And he points right to him. That one's for you, Dad. That's a big goal. Here comes Matty Barzal up against, who do they have in net? Goes through the legs. Oh, they have Marc-Andre Fleury, of course, duh. Marc-Andre Fleury says no between the legs. Austin Matthews tries the one-hander. Ooh, a couple of nice moves going on right now. We can put the pressure on with a big win here. Conrad, a couple of moves. If we could score on the rebound, this game would be over. Will Nye, the hockey guy, little leg kick, stops up 1-2, and Askarov says no. Who do we got here? We got Morgan Riley, the former Leaf, can win it, and he shoots it right at the pad. Things you hate to see. We got a creative player here, Sundin, coming in, and he basically does the exact same thing. We're going to another round here. Come on, we can win it here. Couple of moves and a big poke check from Flower. Here comes Nazem, the Dream Kadri, number 90, back on Toronto. I don't know where he was going with that shot. What round is this? Round 8? Here comes Lucas Raymond, the kid, coming in. He could have went to the backhand, but hey, I guess that's fine. Jeremy Bracco, number 33, the young kid, finally made the Leafs, and he bobbles the puck. All right, so another round here. I don't even know who this is. Number 16. Oh my God, what a goal. Who is that? Number 15. Who scored that? Was it Ilya Mikheyev? No, that was Nick Suzuki with a huge goal. Gets our first win of the year. All right, so I think this is going to be the deadline. The game against the Montreal Canadiens. That's going to be the deadline. If we don't move these players by then, I'll just go back to Edmonton, or I'll try to find a better trading partner. But we win one more time. There you go. Couple of wins. 7-2 against Ottawa. Unfortunately, we lost there against Nashville, snapping a little 2-game winning streak. Drew Doughty for Matthew Barzal. Imagine, what a trade. Okay, so Barzal, and they give us a fourth. Oh, how kind of you. How kind of you, LA. I mean, obviously, Drew Doughty's nasty, but I am not a Drew Doughty fan. No, thank you. And we lose in a shootout there to the Calgary Flames, but we're kind of hovering around the 500 mark here. I'd love to string together some wins. That's a big 4-0 shutout against the Chicago Blackhawks. Sammy Blais, Jesper Bratt, and Nick Suzuki for Erik Karlsson. I'd like to know where this note was that said, give all the $11 million defensemen to the Quebec Nordiques. I do not want Erik Karlsson. No, thank you. Maybe at $6 million, but definitely not 11.5. Amateur scout, that's fine. There you go. A little win there. A couple of wins back to back, 7-4-1, and then we lose. I'd love to go on like a 4, 5, 6 game little streak here. That would be kind of nice. All right, there's 2. We're 9-5-1. Jesper Bratt for a first. No, thank you. Up against Matty Barzal's old team. That's 3 in a row. Can we make it 4 against the Sharks? That's 4 in a row, baby. A first in Para for Clefbaum. Ooh, what's Clefbaum? Is he like 88 overall or something? He should have a pretty decent overall, 84. So, I mean, it's not great. But Oscar Clefbaum could be really nice. And, you know, they do need, I mean, $5.1 million for 4 years is a lot for an 84 overall. I'm really interested in Broberg, actually. That's more of the player I'm interested in. But who knows, maybe we'll come back to Edmonton. They're 11-5-1, so they're not doing that bad. So are we, actually, but they have no goaltending. There you go. The wins keep coming. How many is that in a row? That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 straight W's. Now up against the Montreal Canadiens. If we go back to our little Quebec Nordiques Bible here, it will show that we have played a total of 7 games. We're being outscored 27-22, and Montreal has 4 wins, and we have 3. So I'm looking to even up the all-time series here. Let's go. I need to see 4-4. I don't like this 3-4 stuff, and I especially don't like a 3-5 matchup. So let's go. We've lost our last 2 against Montreal. Montreal. Let's embarrass these guys in front of their home fans. Nick Suzuki, I'm looking at you, buddy. You get a big goal on your old squad. Period number 1. And it's 2-1. Hampus Lindholm gets both. And then Braden McNabb, goals from the defense. Period number 2. Okay, 3-2. They come in with 2 big goals from Wong and Max Lafleur. That guy eats us alive, man. But Lucas Raymond, the young kid, there you go, scores a big goal, tying the game up at 3. We could have a crazy one here. We could see an overtime game if we go into overtime. Oh my God, Lafleur, give me a break. This guy eats us alive. No way we're going to lose the Habs. Come on, boys. Conrad, I need a big goal. You have to answer back right now. Come on. 50 seconds left. Pull the goalie, and we lose to the Montreal Canadiens. And what makes it even worse is they snapped our 5-game winning streak. Now, I said I was going to end it off here at the Montreal game, but there's only a few games left. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to go all the way to the Bruins game. Let's get the month done, end it off on an even day. We'll start on the 1st going into December. Hopefully we can find a suitable trading partner, but we're playing good hockey right now. 15-6-1. I'm pretty happy with this. After that loss against Montreal, we come back with 3 straight wins. And I guess, you know what, since we're here, we can't end this one on a streak. We got to see if the streak's going to continue before we make some trades. Let's go. Can we add another win to our winning streak against the Bruins? And Conrad Stastny, he gets one on Devin Dubnyk. Period number 2. Oh my God, we absolutely implode in the second period. Askarov gets the hook. Tucker Tynan is now in the cage, and this looks like our winning streak is about to be snapped. We're going to end this one 6-1. We got destroyed. Okay, well, it was a nice little winning streak while we had it, but unfortunately the Bruins fed us our lunch right there. Conrad Stastny has 20 goals in 23 games. This just proves that we are definitely a competitive team without UC Saros and obviously Nick Bjugstad. We have to trade them though. 23 games in, we've had no good trade offers coming our way, so I think it's time to pull the trigger. We have how many players over a point per game? 4, almost 5 with Sammy Blais right there. But there you go, Conrad and Jesper Bratt leading the way. That's awesome. Matthew Barzal has 2 goals but 25 assists. He is killing it right now. Evgeny Malkin doing his thing on the second line. That's awesome. So it looks like Jesper Bratt has found a nice home between Conrad and Matthew Barzal. That's awesome. Second line's doing pretty damn good as well. I like this line. And then Morgan Riley's our best scoring defenseman at 16 points But the thing I really like is the pluses. Most people are a plus here. Lemieux and Nasty Nas in the minus category. I mean, even Adam Fox isn't even playing that bad right now as a bottom pairing defenseman. Adam Lowry, Jake Virtanen, Hampus Lindholm, only 5 points, but he is a +4, and we are winning a ton of hockey games right now, so I'm pretty happy with that. Moving on to the goaltenders here, 11-4 for Askarov. It looks like Askarov has definitely taken the role as the starting goalie. He's now up to an 83, where Tucker Tynan is still an 82 overall. Tucker is 4-5-1, where Askarov is 11-4 with 1 shutout. His numbers aren't dramatically better, but they're pretty damn good. I think Askarov has taken the lead here to be the starter, which is exactly what I wanted. Things are working out good right now here in Quebec, that's for sure. Now, having a look at the skaters here, Vince Medano, there he is, him, Ben, and Tyler Seguin leading the league in scoring, 1, 2, 3, followed behind Conrad Stastny, Igor Fedorov, Paul Vincenzo, Jack Eichel, Anthony Ward, Ryan Johansson, Zane Sakic. So there you go, Jesper Bratt, look at that. One of these things is not like the other. We got McDavid, Laine, Lindros, Joe Sakic, Mikko Rantanen, and then Jesper Bratt. Things you love to see. Alex Ovechkin right there, 27-23. Damn traitor. Could have came to Quebec. Should have been here. So I've given it a little over a month, and unfortunately, I've got no offers that really entice me, especially for the goaltender. So what we could do is there's potential that we could, package them all together, and we could go for like a high-end first and like a low-end prospect. But that would mean we'd have to trade them to a team that has a lot of cap, which really isn't anyone right now. Everyone's basically maxed out. We could trade them to the Islanders. I mean, they don't really need a starting goalie. They have Thatcher Demko, so I kind of want it to make sense. I don't want to just trade a goalie just to trade a goalie. I don't want to just trade to a team that, has a starting goalie. That makes no sense at all. Like Nashville. Nashville is a perfect team for us to trade UC Saros to. Plus, goes back to his original team. That makes a lot of sense. What rookie skaters do they have? Who do you got? Who can I take from you? Chaika? Okay, we could take Chaika. Remember this guy? This guy is actually from our Saskatchewan franchise mode. But what else we got here? We got Haas, who is a big guy, 6'4", a 5th rounder. He's actually got decent potential for a 5th rounder. Schneider, 21 years old. I'm looking more of this Zach Stringer guy. He looks pretty good. Almost a goal per game in the Western Hockey League. I like him. Let's throw him in the mix. And Chaika, is that too much for UC Saros? It looks pretty even. Quebec would have too few goalies. I'd have to take a goalie back, which is no problem. I can easily get a goaltender. Give me anyone that can play in the AHL. Let's give this Fitzpatrick guy. There you go. How does that trade value look? It's a little bit in our favor, unfortunately. I'm going to have to add a pick here, but these are two pretty decent prospects. Stringer, Zach Stringer, what a name. Former first-round pick. I like this guy. And then Chaika is just a really good defensive prospect. Now, he's not a guy who I'm totally sold on, and we could always go get another player. That trade value is a little bit high, but I really like this Stringer guy. So let's start high, and then we'll work our way down. They need a goalie, so this makes sense. Will this go through? Trade rejected. That's what I kind of thought. Now, I'm not opposed to adding like a third. I'm not opposed to that at all, or maybe giving them another prospect in return. And of course, we don't have a third for the next couple years because I like trading draft picks. Well, let's continue with the third trend here. A third and UC Saros for Chaika, Stringer, and Fitzpatrick. Trade rejected. All right. Maybe not Chaika. Maybe someone who's a little bit less. Let's see who's out there. Maybe someone like Schneider, who's 73 overall, 21 years old. He's a former first rounder in 2020. Brendan Schneider, he's available. Or we got this Artukin guy who they want to get rid of. He's 22 years old though, so I don't know. Or yeah, that might be not bad. Since we're getting a stud in Stringer, we could maybe get Artukin as well. Let's try that. Let's try out Artukin, and then we'll get Stringer, who's going to be a really good prospect, and then Fitzpatrick's just going to go in the American Hockey League. Will that go through? Trade accepted. There you go. Zach Stringer. Welcome to the squad. I'm excited about this kid. Zach Stringer. He's averaging almost a goal per game. He's, again, a former first-round pick, 68 overall, only 19 years old. He's got 28 points in 16 games with Lethbridge. That's just another stud to add to our prospect pool. I'm happy about that. Now, it's not over. It's not over at all because we still have to trade Adam Fox. We don't have to trade Adam Fox, but we definitely have to trade, where is he? Nick Bjugstad. That's right. We got to trade Nick Bjugstad. Now, we could probably just go get like a second for Nick Bjugstad. Give me a team that has some cap space. You want draft picks? I'll give you draft picks. What do you want? Take my 4th for this year. The trade value is super even. They just don't really want to get rid of Moritz at all. I guess it makes sense, but 2/4? Come on, trade rejected. Yeah, they don't want to do it. All right, well, let's find another home for Nick Bjugstad. I don't think we're going to trade Adam Fox. Trying to see if I can turn Nick Bjugstad into basically a 4th. We got to trade 2 extra picks and just get this player just to make the trade go through. Will that go through? There you go. Thank you very much, Carolina. Ended up moving Nick Bjugstad. Turn that into a first-round pick. I will take that all day, every single day. Okay, so something bad just happened. And I don't know if this is my fault, but I don't think it is. I went to go best lines, right? After we made that trade, I went to go best lines. That seems fine. Everything's good offensively, defensively. It's all good. Everything's fine. I go to the goaltenders, all right? I say Askarov, all right, he's the starter, great. Oh, Evan Fitzpatrick, he should probably be down in the AHL. That makes sense. All right, well, the computer probably just put Tucker Tynan down in the American Hockey League. The AI does stupid things sometimes. Let's not worry about it. I go over to goaltenders. He's nowhere to be found. I'm thinking, did I accidentally trade him? Did I trade him and not even realize? He's not in the NHL. Where the hell is this guy? What the dumbass computer did is they sent an 82 overall goaltender, a guy who was getting almost starting minutes in the NHL. They sent him back to junior, and I can't call him up. The AI is ridiculous. What are you doing? He's 20 years old getting NHL minutes. I'll never, I'll never understand this. Like, why would you do that? That is so annoying. Now, my plan is ruined. I guess Askarov is now the starter. Poor Tucker Tynan. The guy gets his leg cut, and he doesn't even get starting minutes in the NHL anymore. I literally just clicked best lines, and that was it. I did not put him onto waivers. I did not do a thing. So now we're rolling with Fitzpatrick and Askarov. I did not ask for this. I did not ask for this at all. Oh my god, this game is ridiculous. Just little things like that, like, ruin the franchise mode. Like, that's not my plan. I had Fitzpatrick for the AHL. Oh, that's extremely frustrating. And it's not like I can call him up either. I can't do anything. When I go to the contracts, I can't call him up. If I go to the goaltenders in the system, all I can do is trade him or view his profile. Great. Well, that is literally the stupidest thing I've ever seen. That sucks. Hopefully he does good in junior as an 82 overall junior goaltender. So now what happened is our AHL team now has like a 60 overall goalie. So now what I have to do is sign a goalie that I don't want, and he's going to have to go play in the American Hockey League. We have to wait another year for Tucker Tynan, which is just ridiculous. I'll never understand this game. I'll never understand it. So here's all the players we have in our prospect pool right now. This is our former first-round pick. He's got 13 points in 14 games with the Erie Otters. We got Jeremy Poirier, who I'm hoping still is going to grow into an NHL defenseman. He's still down in junior. Zach Stringer, who was the almost goal-per-game guy we just got for UC Saros. Arthur Kaliev, hoping he makes the jump for next year. We got Quinn Reitz, or Reitz. He's actually Austrian, which is kind of fun. There he is. He was our first round pick that was low elite, jumped right into the AHL. We got Yzerman, we got Para, we got good things happening here in Quebec. Now it looks like the reins are going to be all for Askarov, unfortunately, and then Fitzpatrick. I'm glad I traded for someone who's at least NHL comparable. He is 79 overall. So I guess let's get another month of simulation done and we'll see where this video takes us. I had different plans for this, but here we are. I mean, maybe it's my fault to assume that maybe it's my fault for going best lines, but if you click the best lines button, I don't think you should expect your 1B goalie to be put back down to junior hockey. Like, come on, it's ridiculous. All right, back-to-back losses, looking to get back into the winning ways here. That's 3 straight L's, and then we win against the St. Louis Blues. Now, I would like to string a few wins together here. There you go. That's 3 straight up against the Arizona Coyotes. Now, the Coyotes are actually in super hot talks right now with Taylor Hall. I'm actually stopping my recording every 10 minutes to refresh some Twitter, but I don't know, maybe by the time you're watching this, he'll already be traded, but he's scratched for the second night straight. Hall is probably going to be traded within the next 24 hours. I'm saying he goes to Arizona. That would be awesome. But here we go up against Edmonton. We kind of just ignored them. I said, hey man, maybe I'll trade you a goalie. He got all pumped and then I never got back to him. So sorry, Edmonton, but you should do better with Connor McDavid on your team. And Leon Draisaitl, there you go. If it's not McDavid, it's probably Leon Draisaitl. He scores on the first shot of the game. See if we can weather the storm here against the Edmonton Oilers. First period, 2-2. Lucas Raymond and Conrad Stastny, Pontus Aberg, and Leon Draisaitl score for them. Period number 2, kind of a crazy one. Jimmy Vesey, okay, Vesey gets the goal for Edmonton, putting them up by 1. Can we tie it up here? Can we do it? I'd love a goal from Morgan Riley. Little back end action here. Power play. There you go. Matty Barzal scores on the 76 overall Anton Forsberg. Thank you very much, Long Island. Thank you for your services. Matty Barzal with a big goal. Are we going into overtime? No. Kaylor Yamamoto, but Mikheyev comes right back. The goals are coming fast and furious. Looks like we're going into a shootout, and we lose the extra point. Leon Draisaitl gets it started with the first goal of the game, and he ends it with the last in the shootout. Up against Moritz Seider and the Detroit Red Wings, and that's an L. Things you hate to see. 18-10-2. We started off hot. Adam Fox for Jeff Carter. No thanks. We kind of started off hot. Looks like we're kind of trading wins with losses here. We're taking 1 step forward, 1 step back, 2 step forwards, 2 step back. But there's 2 wins in a row. Now make it 3, 9-1 against the Rangers, and they are terrible. 11-21-3. Performance of the night goes to Jesper Bratt, scoring 4 points in a 9-1 game. How you doing? You guys need to walk that one off. Take a lap, New York. 9-1. I think we found a nice home for Jesper Bratt on the first line. Now we got a game against the Nashville Predators. The first time he's playing his old team. Good luck in Nashville, the place where you started your career. Hopefully you find a legitimate starting job. Well, you should, because they had no one else in the pipeline. Period number 1 against UC Saros, and it's 3-1. Okay, and they didn't even start UC Saros, and we started Fitzpatrick, Tolvanen, Legwand, and Duchesne. Conrad gets the goal for us. They didn't even start UC Saros. That's annoying. Period number 2, 4-1. Askarov's now between the pipes, but we make it interesting. Gino gets 2, but unfortunately we could not recover after having a terrible first. That was rough. But again, it's kind of like we have a huge win and then we get a really disappointing loss. We win 2, you lose 1. You win 3, you lose 2. It's not really like we're jumping ahead that much. It's kind of like we're taking baby steps and then some baby steps backwards. I want to win 5 or 6 straight. I want to put some wins together here. 5-4 overtime loss. We get the point. We are in a nice spot, actually. Jeff Carter for Ty Smith. Give your head a shake. 49 points. We're second in our division. Brian Little and Thomas Hickey for Spike Helm. No, give your head a shake. That's a win against the Hawks. And like I said, we're second in our division. The Lightning are just unreal right now. They have like close to 60 points or something like that. That's 2 wins in a row, and then we lose. And then we should lose and then win. And then win, then lose, and win, then lose. Back and forth, back and forth. Anaheim Ducks have fired their head coach, Isaac Boyle. Now, this is something we should talk about here. Another head coach has been fired. Not Pedro and Isaac, they're all dropping like flies. Now, the thing we talk about here is our coach. Our coach, obviously, Maurice Belanger. Is he the coach? Is he the one we want to go with here? Antti Ranta, do not need a goalie. No thank you. Brian Little, don't need him, especially for Arthur Kaliev. Come on. Jonas Donskoy and Adam Larson, no. And let's have a look at the Washington Capitals game here. There you go, 5-1. John Carlson for Matthew Barzal. We've been offered 2 Carlsons, John and Eric, and Drew Doughty, just in one episode, which is crazy. Obviously, he is very much an elite NHL defenseman, but we got Morgan Riley, and I don't really want to trade Matthew Barzal, who's on an absolutely steal of a deal. Once again, thank you, Long Island. After this Montreal game, I seriously want to consider talking about the coach. Our record looks good, but there's a few things that I would like to tweak, and the biggest thing is our line chemistry, but we'll talk about that after, because I'm looking to hopefully, again, we've been kind of slacking against the Montreal Canadiens, but the Montreal Canadiens are 5-3 against the Quebec Nordiques. Let's see if we can make that 5-4, and then hopefully in the next episode we can even it up at the tail end of the year. Come on, boys, in your home arena, beat Montreal, and we start off with a 1-0 lead. That's Gino on Carey Price. Period number 2. Okay, they tie it up. Jesperi Kakniemi, he scores on Askarov. 26-22 are the shots. This one's going to be a tight one. Could be next goal's gonna win it. 10 minutes left. Shots are basically even. We're giving up power plays left, right, and center, but we are killing them left, right, and center. Ilya Mikheyev scores a huge goal on Carey Price with just over 5 minutes left, and that is going to be the one that's going to get us the victory. Ilya Mikheyev, GOAT status. What a goal. He gets the 3rd star. Askarov and Price, obviously both of them played out of their mind, but a huge goal from Ilya Mikheyev, winning the game. Things you love to see. 30-17-3. Obviously, we're in no position to fire our head coach. We know this, obviously. But you look at the lines here, and it concerns me because I've seen other franchise modes. I've done other franchise modes where I've seen all lines at least be a +1, +2. I've seen some +3, and I've only had 1 +5 in my entire life. But we're winning games. We're playing good hockey. I just wish the line chemistry was a little bit better, and I know a lot of that has to do with your coach. If we fired our coach, so let's have a look at our coach here. Let's have a quick look at Mr. Maurice Belanger. I know his team fit isn't great. Let's have a look. He's got a record of 170, 109, and 17. Pretty damn good. His current morale is amazing, but look at the team fit. It's only 58%. Now, what's your team fit? If you have a franchise mode right now and your team's doing good, winning Stanley Cups, what's your team fit? I rarely see it over like 60%. Now let's have a look at what head coaches are out there. I see a couple A's, a couple A minuses. We got Tucker here, who is, looks like he's A's all across the board. Damn, Nathan Tucker. So what would his team fit be? So you can see it's actually 63%. He's an offensive coach. Now we got Emmanuel Plus, who is 59%. Serge Paris, who's 62. So all these guys are better than our current head coach right now. I really don't know how much this, you know, translates into on ice play. Ooh, 65% for Ernesto. He likes everyone. He should be an assistant coach. That makes sense. Okay, interesting. Maybe there's like a coach that's like 90% or something. I don't even know if it can get that high. Yahir Wolf, he's 66%. But again, he's an assistant coach. A lot of 60s here. Just check in, maybe there's a guy who's like 75%. That'd be kind of funny. But I don't think, I mean, the highest I've seen is like 65, 63. Like, is that good? 68%? Ooh, damn. Lebda, 68%. He loves everyone. So a guy like Maurice LaBelle obviously would never work. I mean, there's a few guys out there. Nathan Tucker, he's got 63. I don't know. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments. Obviously, we have a great record right now. There's no need to fire our coach, but maybe another early playoff exit, and maybe Maurice has got to go. Quick little look around the league here. Looks like Conrad and Gino are carrying the squad right now, over 60 points each. Jesper Bratt has 53 and 50. That's awesome. And then look at Matty Barzell, a point per game. Love to see it. Sammy Blais right behind him. Philip Don't Know. We got Morgan Riley with 33. Lucas Raymond. Nick Suzuki with 19. Nasty Nas with 16. Anyone else down here? Jake Vertanen with 5. I mean, Adam Fox is a plus 15. He's got 11 points. I'm pretty happy with Adam Fox. He was on the trade block, but I think we're going to stick with him. As for goaltenders here, Yaroslav Askarov is still an 83, but he's 23 and 12. I think he's more than capable of being a starting goalie. And then Fitzpatrick is 7 and 6. Just for fun, I want to check out a few things here around the league. Looking at Nashville, how is UC Saros doing? 11 and 11 since coming over. There you go. Back with his original squad. Ben Bishop, Vasilevsky, Iginla, and then Askarov, he's right there as the rookie. I guess he's technically not a rookie, he played last year, but with minimal NHL experience. Is he classified as a rookie? He is actually. Okay, so both of our goalies are considered rookies. That's cool. There you go. Askarov could very well win the Calder. And as for entire league, Tyler Seguin, 70 points in 50 games. Braden Point, Conrad Stastny, Vince Medano, Gino Rantanen. There you go. Max Lafleur, Oscar Gormley, Vincenzo, all these guys over 35 goals. Conrad, he's right there. He has a 4-goal game and he's tied with Max Lafleur. I think in the next video, we should just get the rest of the year done. We know we're going to be a playoff team. Maybe there could be some potential moves to make. Potentially maybe something. I'm not sure what that is yet. I'm definitely not closing the door on any trades before the trade deadline. There's always areas to improve your team. The thing I'm mostly concerned about is our line chemistry right now. It doesn't seem great, but that's something we can fix in the offseason. Maybe a new coach, change some things up. But as of right now, I'm happy with the moves that we made. I want to check out actually one more thing. I want to see how Tucker's doing as an 82 overall goalie. Goes to playing with NHL studs to going to play with guys who are still in high school. Tucker Tynan, how's he doing in the OHL? He's 8-4 with 1 shutout. I mean, we know he's going to be good no matter what. I wish he was in the NHL though, which is so dumb that he's not. Thanks, game, you suck. And one final thing here, check up on the boys in Quebec City. He's got, Spike Helm, 46 and 49, and the boys are buzzing 30, 15, and 4. Things are looking good in Quebec. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next one.